Well, well, well. The brooms came out. People thought it wouldn't happen, and here we are. It's like, I don't even know really how to describe it. It's like no one anticipates something, and then it happens, and you just kind of look around, and you're like, well, that was underwhelming. I thought this would come with more fanfare, and it didn't. I tell you what, Nets all headed to Cancun. So many pieces coming out about the Nets. One particularly had my attention. One was inside the Ben Simmons drama of him opting out to play Game 4 due to new back soreness. Shams Charania is now reporting that there are, in addition to physical hurdles ailing Mr. Simmons, there are now mental hurdles that he is contending with that are now triggering his back soreness. They are in the process of developing a plan for him to mentally and physically become ready to play. All of these issues, these mental issues that are triggering his back, my neck and my back. These all stem back to his last game, Game 7 against the Atlanta Hawks, the game where he passed up a layup open, and afterwards Joel Embiid and Doc Rivers threw him under the bus, buried him, threw the shovel in the dirt on his grave on national television. So Clutch with a K, also now trending on Twitter. Clutch is Ben Simmons' agency, the same one that LeBron James' best friend owns, just to keep you up to speed. So let's go through this one quote I wanted to just dissect a little bit. Apparently, these events, Ben Simmons telling the world he felt it was reasonable to assume, he told this to us on national television, reasonable for us to assume that he would be back in the 4th game of the playoffs. And then he decided, he woke up, no, I'm feeling a little tight. Didn't even put his uniform on to just see, maybe I'll be ready, who knows, maybe it'll warm, maybe I'll put a little icy hot on it, we'll see. No, apparently those events, quote, triggered frustration and disheartenment throughout the organization. You don't say. You don't say. Really quick to recap. This thing, Nets, good spot. Trade for James Harden, sent 4 draft picks and multiple very usable assets out the door. Left with the cupboard empty, but a James Harden that seemed engaged. Then James Harden became less engaged, decided to force his way out of another place, and then they got another, I guess you could call Ben Simmons a potential asset back. In return, you get 2 new, soon-to-be first-rounders back, but you're just wondering, how did we fucking get here? Like, how are we in the Ben Simmons business at this point? Like, why? You knew, folks. You knew. In hindsight, probably the Nets should have just said fuck you to Daryl Morey. Like, we'll let Harden walk. We'll just see. And if he walks and goes to you, you're going to have to trade everyone, like Tobias Harris and Seth Curry and all the things. Maybe Maxey. So just fucking deal with it then. And we'll force James Harden to play with us in the postseason. We'll see. Maybe he'll get invigorated when Kyrie Irving gets allowed to play full time, which he ended up playing. Speaking of Kai, the media asked him some questions about his status after he was swept. He took a little accountability. He said, I was a part of us not gelling. I mean, you were the only part of you not gelling. But they want to know what he didn't do with your contract. In the middle of him promising his devotion to KD and Brooklyn, he said something that, when you just have a conversation with someone and they say something that you're like, oh, that's fucking crazy. That's a big red flag. Here it is. When I say I'm here with Kev, I think that it really entails us managing this franchise together alongside owner Joe Tsai and GM Sean Marks and our family members that we have in the locker room and in our organization. Kyrie, what the fuck are you talking about? You don't even play in the games, bruh. You're our asset. Like, you're not the decision maker here. Maybe Kev is, and maybe you're Kev's ride or die, but you are not who we are listening to. You're burning sage inside of arenas. We don't trust you. You said the world was flat. You're not building a roster. Also, are you even on our roster? Like, mostly you're not even here. Also, guess who he forgot to mention? Didn't hear any mention of Steve Nash in that comment. Still, the Kyrie Irving, Steve Nash. I don't know if it's Cold War. I don't know if it's a warm frenemy situation. But I'll just say this. I don't know how much they respect one another in terms of, Steve Nash's ability to have power on this team. And if you think Kyrie should be in charge of roster building and Kevin Durant should be in charge of roster building, let's just face it. The roster has only gotten worse every single year since KD and Kyrie got there. I know that sounds crazy because you have KD and Kyrie on the team, and for me to say, this team was better before they got there, it was. How do I know it? Because the people in Brooklyn loved this team. The people showed up for this team. The buzz in the city was there. Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, D'Angelo Russell, Ice in the Veins, TLC, all good pieces. 6 seed. What were the Nets again? Didn't they have to play the play-in twice? Rough. I don't know what they decide to do moving forward. I know that they're in cap hell. You've got Joe Harris to deal with. You've got 9 players that are going into free agency. I don't know how you pay them. What do? Do you just tell Joe Tsai we're just going to go deep, deep, deep into the luxury tax to be a 6 seed and get bounced in the first round and maybe get swept again? No. Going to be very interesting to see what happens this offseason. More to come.